a theme on the week. A theme on the week. This show. That's what I'm about to get at. Is I'm so bad at talking. I'm so bad at communicating.
You're inventing. What's the theme on the week?
The theme
Josiah?
of the week on this show is kind of loosely, low key, being a broadcaster, being a journalist, being in radio, all these kinds of things. And I was thinking, we're really fucking up. I mean, I keep naming the months with horrible. One of the upcoming months I've already named in our spreadsheet that we just started, and it's no one's here to stop me because I am the boss, unfortunately, and it's just kind of a complete disaster. So I'm thinking and then I'm remembering my employee Sam. He used to be a guy that was on the radio, the television, whatnot. Well, I don't know if you've ever been on the radio. Have you?
No, never in any professional capacity.
Okay. Well, either way, I think, you know how to broadcast. You know how to do it. So I was thinking maybe, and this is a little bit cruel, but we haven't had much time tonight because we've been potting the whole time. I was wondering if you could read this copy that I wrote for Fugazi August. If I just paste it to you in the chat. Just kind of, there's a few, in square brackets, there's some pronunciation notes, but otherwise I think you can just do a straight read to open the show, if that's cool.
Yeah, no, of course, it would be my pleasure.
Okay, so just before we get started, so maybe I'll do a quick cut at the start. So 3, 2, 1.
Hey, gang, what's up? You're listening to FUGUZT. That's right, it's Fugazi August. We're talking about Fugazi, Joe. Okay. Okay, yeah. I feel like I almost needed that first. Let me. Sorry. Okay, that's right. It's Fugazi August. Okay, we're talking about Fugazi, a jolly awesome band by.
Sorry, what was that?
Fronted by my guy Ian. There's a lot of call and response in the bands. Sometimes Ian has his very own reply guy. Well, and the music is just so good.
That's a capital G. It's reply G.
Okay, sorry. I thought his very own reply. I thought, anyway, you could see how you could do that both ways. There's a lot of call and response in the band. Sometimes Ian even has his very own reply gee, and the music is just so good. I can't even say I can't even with it.
That was can't even.
No, I know I can't even. Then with it, no. Can I do it one more time now? Having
I guess. I guess so. I thought that if this was on a teleprompter, wouldn't that have been? If this was like the Juno?
No, because I think you wouldn't put the pronunciation key after, like you just spell it out phonetically. So because the problem is it's hitting me after the fact that's how you want me to say Joe Lally.
I think personally this could not have gone better.
You're not good at writing for the stage.
Everything about this day could not have gone better. This day of podding. Yeah, give it a clean one.
Okay. Hey gang, what's up? You're listening to FUGUZT. That's right, it's Fugazi August. We're talking about Fugazi, a jolly awesome band fronted by my guy Ian. There's a lot of call and response in the band. Sometimes Ian even has his own reply gee. And the music is just so good, I can't even with it.
Oh my God, he's done it. And now let's do punk news.
Punk news, P-U-N-K-N-E-W-S.
You know, keeping this journalistic theme, it's interesting that we could take something so stuffy like the news and kind of unbutton it a little bit and let it all hang out in a sort of punk rock fashion.
Is let it all hang out like, do you think that's like a canceled idiom?
Oh, interesting. We're doing idiom etymology this early on. That's great. Yeah. I wonder, where did that come from? Yeah,
because like maybe it just means your hair, but let it all.
It's a song by the Hombres. Band called the Hombres.
Maybe that's
incredible artwork on this.
Yeah, it's to behave freely without being shy or feeling worried about other people will think of you.
You were thinking that it's related to the phallus?
Yeah, I guess I'm
interesting
thinking
that you're already like erasing women in your interpretation of it. They have things they could let hang out too. Their nips, their labias.
Yeah, no, that's just let it all. I guess that's really what it means, is let it all hang out. And I have a sort of phalliocentric view of idioms, I suppose.
Oh, this is from the Nuggets
when
box
people
set.
say to cut it out, I assume they're talking about cutting out the foreskin, which of course is inside of the dick.
You have circumcision envy.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever pretended to like the Nuggets compilations? That's what this is from.
No, I have not. Have you ever pretended to like the Nuggets
absolutely. Nuggets, Pebbles, all that shit. Of course I pretended to like all that bullshit. But now I'm done pretending, and I'm here to admit that I don't like anything except talking to Sam. And so what I'm going to talk to you about is my punk news item. I tried to get your help earlier, and you refused. I tried to get your help with pronouncing the name of this town, and you've left me hanging. And the worst part is I gave you so many pronunciation notes on your segment.
That's true.
Is it Akron? Akron? Akron Family. It was a band that I used to like.
I'll be honest with you. Now that when you initially asked me, it's obviously Akron. Yeah. Akron, Ohio. But
that's
then
what it
you
is.
just said it so many times that I was like, is it Akron? Is it like, maybe I'm wrong.
I think we should always...
Like, you just said it too many new ways for
me. We should always do the start of the pod after doing many hours of different other pod things.
Because is it Akron Family?
I think it is, and I think I said Akron Family, and some freaking hipster rolled their eyes at me. Well, I liked them before. Anyways, this is the Akron. This is the punk rock flea market brings fans to Akron. Katie Prefer.
What about Akon? Is Akon involved in this at all?
Well, he brought water to Africa. Is that the thing that he did? There's a thing, people would always, for some reason, all of the sort of like word of mouth type copy passes are always around water. Like when people used to say Flint doesn't have clean water all the time. They also used to, I remember, maybe it's because I follow Cat Williams Farrell. This is already way off the deep end. But they always talk about how Akon, no one is willing to talk about how Akon brought clean water to...
It's electricity.
It's electricity is what it is.
Akon Lighting Africa provides electricity to 15 countries in Africa. So
that's pretty cool.
Hats off Akon.
So
I believe, from Akron, though.
This story is by Katie Prefer, University of Tennessee alum. I mean, she's killing it. To me, from a distance, when I look at Katie's profile picture, and she seems to be kind of, I guess, courtside at a football field, football side. I don't know.
It's called football side.
I don't see punk journalist in this, but I'm immediately proven my biases are destroyed. My preconceived notions, fuck a preconceived notion, because here she is writing, punk rock flea market brings fans to Akron. Akron hosted a punk rock flea market at Lock 3 on Saturday. There were over 60 different unique vendors, food trucks, drinks, and live punk bands. Jeff McDaniel, a lifelong punk rock fan, was in attendance for the flea market. He loved getting to see so many people who are part of the punk rock community. See a lot of cool tattoos, a lot of fellow music lovers out here, he said. So I don't know why there's no it's an incomplete sentence. So that's okay though. The punk rock community allows fans to bond over music. The punk rock community allows fans to bond over music and express themselves, which is one thing that McDaniel loves most. I'm thinking he might be the guy interviewed. So why don't we watch this interview? We'll hit play at the same time because I can't put it and watch together. So I'll do a countdown. We'll do 3, 2, 1.
Jeff McDaniel has loved punk rock music for the majority of his life.
Probably since like third grade. My first CD I ever bought was Green Day Dookie.
He spent his Saturday walking around the punk rock flea market, exploring the 60-plus vendors, listening to live music, and eating from food trucks. His favorite
Food
part was
trucks are
getting
pretty
to see
punk.
all the people in the punk rock
Touring.
community.
See a lot of cool tattoos, a lot of fellow music lovers out here.
The punk rock community has given him and many others a
Someone's
space to
wearing a shirt
enjoy
that says
music
Acronite
and express
over and over again.
themselves.
Punk rock culture is very communal. There's a lot of shared experiences, shared music love is, across the whole spectrum.
Not only has Jeff found a community of
hard
people
cut
that love
there.
the same music as him, his favorite punk rock band, Blink-182,
Yes,
also
bro.
helped him find his wife.
We were at a party through her sorority, and I started talking to her about Blink-182 stuff, and we just kind of linked up through that.
Let's
The
go.
flea market was crowded with people of all ages and all styles, but shared the same love of punk rock music that brought them there. For Spectrum News, I'm Katie Prefer.
Katie Prefer with another big drop from the punk scene. So I think that pretty
Wow.
much sums it up. Yeah, there's nothing else in the article that wasn't mentioned. Jeff met his wife through talking about Blink-182. He likes Green Day. To be honest, again,
Did you ever go to a punk rock flea market, Joe?
well, I was going to say, again, my sort of biases didn't really suggest to me that any of these people were punk rock at this event. But then again, they went to a punk rock flea market, so they are by definition, punk
That's
rock.
it,
So,
yeah.
No, I don't think I would ever do that. No. Over to
'Cause
you.
you're not punk rock.
Over to you, Sam.
Well, I know when I think about punk rock, I always think about our dearly departed Princess Diana, who I really... did we do a stream? Did we do our favorite things of last year? You made me watch the scene in Spencer where Kristen Stewart eats the...
Yeah, why did
Eats
we
the
do
pearl.
that? What are we doing?
I don't know why we were really experimenting a lot with the exclusives. I feel like we did that for content.
Oh, I think it was we did our least and most favorite things of the year or something like that. We were just trying to do.
Well, unfortunately, this is not. I don't know if this is going to be one of your favorite things of the year, but this comes from my favorite zine, the Daily Mail. Of course, we know that punk still has a long way to go in terms of gender parity, but there it is. The article is Lady Kitty goes rock chick. Princess Diana's niece ditches her polished style for a punky chopped bob and tussled fringe in D&G eyewear campaign. Now,
that's just a
this is
great
interesting.
headline.
It's a great headline. Were you familiar? I guess Lady Kitty is Princess Diana's niece.
I had no
Did-
idea
were
who
you-
that was. She seems like she'd be kind of an industry plant rapper in the Lady,
Yeah.
Lady Sovereign. Really, is what I'm thinking of. Oh, she's not an industry plant, is she? Was she?
No, I don't
I hope
know.
not.
I don't know.
I was just thinking about her earlier. I hope she's doing great, Lady Sovereign. Wherever you are, you're always
Well,
welcome
after
on
you
the show.
maligned her and walking it back. Lady Kitty Spencer is just a great industry plant pop star name. I don't know about, punk. Sure, it's a rock subgenre, but saying, rock chick, is it rock or is it punky? I'm not sure. But also, this is good because I feel like last week we were talking about not knowing what a bob is. We were talking
you know
about
what's funny
haircuts.
is we did end up having Rachel the hair editor on the show for a
Yes.
little segment. I know you listen to the pod every week, so you obviously heard it.
Of
For those who
course,
might have
yeah,
missed it,
yeah.
our dear friend Rachel popped by to talk to us, and she didn't correct me about the bob. So, and then I think, in the DMs later, we were talking about various inconsistencies, and she might have also made a little flub with the town that you were talking about. So there was some inconsistent. Everyone was kind of dropping the ball, but I got away with not knowing what a bob was. But I'm going to go ahead and guess that Stephanie Linning from Mail Online knows what a bob is.
I think you're right. Let's take a look. I think I like about the Daily Mail is you don't have to read the article. They give you the just point form right up front. The three takeaways you need from this article are Lady Kitty Spencer showcases a new punk rock look in a D&G eyewear campaign. Princess Diana's niece, 31, sports a choppy blonde bob and tussled fringe. And marks a departure from the Society Beauties. What?
She's a Society Beauty,
feels
yeah.
like it's a proper noun. Yeah,
Right.
marks a departure from the Society Beauty's typical polished appearance. I don't think I've read the term Society Beauty. I understand.
I would
it
love to become a
contextually,
society
but-
beauty. Now, here's the thing. If you're a punk, aren't you supposed to hate society? But if you're beautiful with it, then what is that? How does that work?
You're subverting society, which is so ugly.
By being a beauty.
Yeah, exactly. Now let's see what else. If there's a little more context we can get.
There's a lot of punk.
here from
They've used the word punk
Stephanie
in here
Lane.
a lot. It's impressive.
She is a society belle known for her ultra-feminine and polished style, but Lady Kitty Spencer, 31, showcases a rather more punk rock look in her latest modeling campaign. Princess Diana, I feel like I'm losing my mind. I keep reading the same sentence over.
It's like all in the headline, and then it's, all of the point form.
Repeated, and then it's every caption. So, like, literally, Princess Diana's niece sports choppy blonde bob with tussle fringe and advert for DG eyewear. And there's a photo, and then under the photo it says, rock chick. Lady Kitty Spencer, 31, showcases a punk rock look in her latest campaign. Princess Diana's niece sports choppy blonde bob with tussle fringe and advert for D&G eyewear. Polished perfection. Ooh, this cool girl look is a departure for Lady Kitty, who typically steps out in hyper-feminine silhouettes with her long blonde locks and neatly styled. Okay, we're into some fresh copy here. The 80s-inspired styling is finished with a bold red lip, chunky gold jewelry, and oversized black sunglasses. The socialite, who recently celebrated her first wedding anniversary to husband Michael Lewis, 63, oh boy, shared the snap on her Instagram yesterday alongside a second black and white image.
My favorite thing in these articles is this next bit where they quote comments from Instagram, and usually it's like something much better than the ones that Stephanie has chosen here.
The 80s-inspired look proved a hit with followers, with one writing, "We love your hairstyle." A second posted, "I love this look." Lady Kitty is a global ambassador for Italian fashion designers Dolce & Gabbana, and is featured in a number of campaigns. She's also walked the runway for the label and turned to the designers to create her lavish wedding wardrobe. This article does go on
It
quite
just keeps going on, but now it's getting into her
let's
wedding.
just see if
You
they
see
say punk ever again.
her husband is old as fuck, though. Like,
Yeah, 3163.
look at that wedding photo. Good lord, he should be giving her.
Wow, he's an old 63.
He is. Wow,
That's crazy. Well, he's a fashion tycoon, and she is a socialite beauty. So, you know,
but
I wish
Stefano
them all
Gabbana
the
also
best.
said she is also a girl who is very attached to her origins, to England, to her heritage of the great Victorian era, and like all the English people, she has a great passion for all kinds of flowers, and that's punk news, folks. Now, Sam, I didn't want to lead with this because I really wanted you to read that copy, but I do have two more FUGUZT pronunciations to try.
Great.
So if you want to unmute, there's got to be a better way than talking about this out loud, but we'll never find it.
There's no way to do it. So yes, I am unmuting in one of the platforms that we use to record now.
FUGUZT.
Oh.
FUGUZT. FUGUZT.
It's so funny to me.
FUGUZT.
Oh.
FUGUZT.
FUGUZT.
I like this one.
FUGUZT.
FUGUZT.
Fugusht.
That seems like some old German man pronunciation.
That feels the most like a thing that you'd look up. Like for example, I don't know how to pronounce Schadenfreude. So anytime I need to make Schadenfreude, right? Anytime I need, like, if I find myself, because it's a very effective term. It's why it's a German word that we all
describes
know.
much of my life. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but if I'm using it in conversation, and I'm sure I've done this on the pod before, I deliberately mispronounce it to make it seem like I'm joking.
You're doing a bit, yeah, classic.
Yeah, I go Schadenfreude. Because I'm just too dumb. And then Fugush. What was it?
Fugazi.
FUGUZT.
Yeah, that makes me feel like I'm like finally committing to learn how to pronounce Schadenfreude. And so I'm like watching a YouTube video, being like, okay, I gotta just commit this to memory. I gotta figure this out.
So what's
this
going
week,
on? Where are we?
This week we are talking about the opening song from because it is FUGUZT. We're doing all FUGUZT songs, and it's starting to feel anti-Semitic to me the way I'm saying it.
Well,
It's
can't
FUGUZT.
even. It's jolly awesome.
Look at it. We're blessed. It's a long month, and we are doing the opening track on the band's 1993 smash hit, "In on the Kill Taker." That's right. We are talking about Facet Squared.
If there was
I've talked a lot about-
if there was a kill taker, I would be out on it. There's absolutely no way I'd get in on that
Bold.
shit. That's not.
It's a bold stance.
That seems antithetical to Fugazi to go in on the kill taker. Or is it taking kills giving life? Is kill taking giving? Is it if you're a Gen X and you want to say it's giving life? Would you say it's taking kill? Because it is the same thing.
I think we should work on this. Like, I think if you and I said like, oh, have you heard this new bop? It's totally taking kill.
I think we're doing like full like free jazz now with this show. I think we've lost everything. It's all gone. But I agree. It's taking kill. The show's taking kill, baby.
Absolutely, we are taking kill years. This is my favorite Fugazi record because it was the one that I heard first. But it also is like, this is the first record of theirs that like charts on Billboard. This is kind of, Repeater is like sort of the long-term, I guess, smash. But this is like the hit, What is your relationship to this song, to this record, this kind of era of the band?
I never had this one. So I know a lot of these songs from Instrument, the movie that they did. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
But I know the songs from that, and I never had this album, so I didn't even really know this song until today, and I love it. There's so much bullshit going on, and it's so aggro and cool, and it actually reminds me a lot of the bands that I loved that loved Fugazi. I hear it a lot in this song that I didn't really understand because I was listening to Red Medicine and listening to them whine about their birthday pony the whole time.
Right, yeah. Whereas this is just like kind of a sick, urgent punk song, right?
It is. It really is.
It's funny, and again, I know I've talked about this on the pod before, but like this being the record that I had like a family friend buy for me and didn't get it, and it's so funny now because like on the whole, I still think It on the Kill Taker is like a sort of difficult record, although I think we said that about kind of all the records. But like you get into like, Returning the Screw, like the first two songs on this record are like, fuck yes. And then it gets like kind of difficult for a while and then there are like, easier passages or whatever. But it's funny to think about hearing this song, which is like very catchy and very like accessible and feeling turned off by it. But I guess in grade 7 it really didn't sound anything
I also think the bass sounds so sick. It's like heavy and rumbling. It's way more ballsy than I'm used to from FUGUZT.
You're right, because it feels like very like listening to it now, it's like it almost feels kind of new metal-y because like so much of Fugazi is like we've been doing this for a minute, and to have something that's just like it's very Deftonesy.
Yeah, that's true. But I think you have mentioned before that a family friend bought you this, probably. But, I mean, I want to know more details. Were they like, hey, kid, you like, let me see what's on your iPod. Oh, half of Take Off Your Pants and Check this out. Or like what?
Yeah.
Or were you already listening to Blink?
It was grade 7. It was grade 7. And so I was like, grade 7 was the year that I started to get into things that weren't like the fucking Beatles or Starlight Express or whatever. Because I was, getting into Radiohead and like Foo Fighters and stuff, but like the very just like outer edges of alternative rock. So it was really like a late bloomer,
And who's this family friend? Like a cool old person, friends with your parents.
Older. His name was Brian Tyso. He remains the son of like my mom's best friend, and he called my mom. I found it because I wrote a 33 1/3 pitch on It on the Kill Taker in 2008, and I've only skimmed it because it's long and incredibly painful.
The amount of emotional labor that we've done for the 33 1/3 Corporation.
It's for a book series that neither of us in the end have ended up terribly fond of, but I hope they appreciate it. It talks about like he called my mom because he's not that much older than me, so he like would have been in his like late teens or something maybe at that point, which also means like he worked at a gas station, so he's like spending
weird to like
hard-earned money.
You're like gonna call
my mom
to say what?
To be like, hey, I bought this CD that like I'm going to give my mom to give you to like give to Sam because all of the bands that he likes, like this is like the band, this is where it all comes from. It's like, okay. And I was like, this is so sick. And like, part of this general feeling of Fugazi, I think, is like that you are entering this sort of like secret world of taste and fandom, right? And so this really felt like a real deliberate effort to be like, you're going to fucking love this. And it was like the first time someone had ever done that for me. I was like, oh my God. And he was older and he was cool and he played in bands. I was like, this is the fucking coolest thing that's ever happened. And I was like, this fucking sucks. It sucks so much. This is not music. Like this sounds nothing like Big Wreck or Brand Van 3000. Like this is fucking so horrible. And I gave it away to a friend. And then like I kept reading about how all these bands that I like were influenced by Fugazi. And eventually I was like, can you give it back to me? And then eventually I was like, this is my favorite album. This is my favorite band. But it was like a huge, like the most like aggressive sort of switch I feel like I've ever kind of had with one of those things. But it does feel like that's what, to me, this song and this record, and again, it's funny because Facet Squared is like a super accessible song, is like one of the reasons that people like you and I put the effort into like this band is I think we're going to talk about this a little bit with our guest is that everyone that you thought was cool thought this band was cool. And then when you got it, it was like you had joined a thing. I don't know. I feel like that's the thing that I've been trying to figure out over the last couple of weeks while we've been talking is like, why did we keep putting in that effort?
Yeah.
Because we haven't actually really done that with a lot of other bands.
It's true. I mean, that's because it doesn't take effort to get into Blink-182. That's,
But like Facet Squared, it's funny to think
I was just
of
thinking of Hebrews 5:13. One does not. Someone who lives on milk is still an infant and doesn't know how to do what is right. So Blink-182 is kind of the milk, and then you move up to the solid food, Fugazi. I was thinking it's similar for me, but I had already known band like. For me, I've talked about this band endlessly, and no one else does because they're just an obscure local band, really, that was kind of hometown heroes. But the Witness Protection Program, the WPP, that was like a huge formative band in my life. And I knew that they loved Fugazi, and I didn't understand how Red Medicine could have inspired this incredibly sick post-hardcore band that I was obsessed with and have, since they've become good friends of mine for my whole life. And but this song sounds exactly like the WPP. So if I had heard this, it all would have made sense. But it's like, again, this is so beaten to death. But if you just bought the wrong CD at A&B Sound, you were going to go on a totally different path.
It's wild. But it's funny to me thinking, like, even listening to, again, Facet Squared is like, this is a pop song. Like, this really is a very accessible song. And I was like, it's too fucking much, man.
Yeah.
Because, like, the loudest thing that I liked was, I was like, I think that Monkey Wrench is cool. That's some cool riffs in that song.
I mean, that is a good
song. And I love the idea.
That's the one Foo Fighters song that I think I could keep on.
That's it? That's your only one?
Yeah, that's my only one.
What about times like these, Josiah? When you just want to like let loose.
We should do
emotionally
FUGUZT next year, maybe.
Oh yeah, I feel like there are people who would love that. So given that you weren't as familiar with this record, weren't as familiar with the song, you might not have been as interested to learn what the lyrics were as I was. And again, like I owned this CD, and I know words to other songs on this album, but I realized this is one, as I was reading it, I was like, I don't think I really know these words. Like to me, it's just like a real like full Ian, just like it's the
this
delivery
is like some of his sickest singing. Like that's
oh my God, it's
crazy
amazing.
How sick that is.
When he sings, like when he's yelling, it's unbelievable.
I'm so glad you're finally having some liquids. By the way, I was getting worried. The timeline. If you know how the timeline worked today, and you've listened to everything, it's been a long time coming for Sam to have those sips.
It's dry when he starts like singing in the chorus. I feel like he sounds like Sid Vicious when he in the My Way cover, like it's Sid Vicious doing Frank Sinatra. Like they will never. There's just like there's like a lot of vibrato in it. The whole thing is is so fucking awesome. But it was interesting revisiting this and really trying to pay attention to the lyrics, because I found it shocking, and this is the sort of general thing that happens with these kinds of bands, how much you're like, oh yeah, like this is 1993 and it's a song about the, I don't know, dangers of patriotism. And it feels like, in particular, where we are in Canada, there's been this like weird thing that has happened where like Canadian patriotism was always embarrassing, but it was like still very prevalent. And in the last 7 months of being here, because of like the truck protests and stuff, we've like flipped into a more collective sense of, like, obviously this is hardly universal, but I think it is much more common for people to be like very critical of people expressing what used to be like really bland Canadian, like almost just sort of standard issue Canadian patriotism, to the point where this is a thing that you and I have not talked about, but this is a conversation that has played out in my real life, and I think we've seen played out on the internet, is like now when you see someone with a Canadian flag, where you should just be like, normal boomer shit, you're just like, oh, that person is probably like it's presumably the way you react to seeing an American flag in America. But actually, I don't even know that that's true. It's like, it feels like seeing the Confederate flag a little bit, where
or
you're
like the Punisher skull.
Totally, yeah. Like the Canadian flag got so fucking sinister so quickly. In a way that you couldn't. No one wanted that a year ago. No one would have let you say that in polite conversation.
I agree. We've talked a lot about my drip on this show, which is kind of a great topic to talk about, in my opinion. But
yeah, of course.
I can't remember if I ever showed you. I got this long sleeve. I was so excited because I needed a new long sleeve, and I love it. Now I can't even find it because it's like. I'm just vamping for a second, but I got this long sleeve. I think I wore it on a stream once, and then the trucker convoy happened, and now it's like brand new, and I can't wear it anymore. It's this, but in a long sleeve version. It's made by Cold World Frozen Goods, who I love, but it's it's Jesus guiding a truck, and it's like, I can't wear that.
Yeah, you can never wear that.
What am I supposed to do with this now?
And it's so sick.
It's so sick. Jesus looks so janky. He looks like Nicolas Cage or something. It's like the sickest thing ever, and I don't think I can literally ever wear it. Like, even, Americans, all they know about Canada is the trucker thing. And I saw some British comedians at Just for Laughs a few weeks ago, and they were talking about the trucker thing. Like, everyone knows about it. It's what we're known for. Yeah. So that's sad.
Well, maybe it's what we deserve to be known for. But
they fucked with my drip. That's one step
in
too far.
In a year, maybe that's, yeah. First they came for whatever, but then they came for my drip, and there was no one left because of the Emergency Measures Act being invoked by fascist Trudeau. But yeah, I think there's sort of like two popular interpretations of the song. One is that it's like about the dangers of patriotism and worshiping the flag, and the other is, I kind of love, is like, it's also just about like scene politics.
Right.
Like, oh man,
yeah, of course.
That's so sick that it can be both those things. There's not a lot of lyrics. I do want to read them.
This is like the closest they get to singing about their friend stabbing them in the back, which would really
exactly
over the edge.
But like, Fugazi is still a hardcore band. Like, it's all here. Yeah, pride no longer is a definition. Everybody wears it. It always fits. A state invoked for the lack of position. Like, you're just like, fucking Jesus Christ. Like, this is we. Like, go off, King. Like, I know America's always had a problem with patriotism, but this feels like we're having this like very fresh version of a reckoning in Canada. So I don't know. I was sort of shocked by how timely it felt based on sort of what we're going through here. Strength is the bait that keeps us so busy. If it's perforated, then I'll tear it to bits. All sense lost in the frenzy. They should never touch the ground, which I do remember when I worked at a summer camp. and you'd put the flag on the flagpole in the morning and raise it and say, "Oh, Canada." Even though technically, I think we're sort of stealing this from Americans because it is like against the law to have an American flag touch the ground or whatever.
What? Yeah,
but we
that's
couldn't let the
insane.
Canadian flag touch the ground at camp. Like, have you ever raised a flag?
No,
or,
I don't. I've never been much
Let a
of
flag. Have you ever burnt a flag?
I mean,
or
no. I've
stomped
mostly
on a
been
flag?
neutral towards flags. I think burning them is pretty tight, but I've never really had much of a one way or another about flags, other than perhaps the flags that are strewn about during a worship service by the more dancey moms in the congregation. But no, I didn't really even know about that. But I love that Canada is just like still like so any kind of flag is. What if you have like from a rock shop, like a Motorhead flag? What if that touches the ground?
yeah.
Is that allowed?
Or if you have like some sort of like weed leaf flag, same thing. That can't touch the ground. Just no flags.
I'm trying to think.
No
Also,
flags touches the ground.
in terms of like shipping. I mean, how do you define the ground? Also, because if you're a flag manufacturer, and the flag's in a box on the ground, or if it's on a pallet,
I think
is that
that's
okay?
fine. Maybe you have to pack them on like the second floor. Like they can touch. They can touch the floor, right? But they can't touch the ground. And because I would say like right now, like I'm on the floor, but I wouldn't tell you I'm on the ground. And if I were if I were to
Right.
fall right now, like would you say if you fell off your chair and you were like, "Sarah, help me"?
Well, hang on.
the ground, or would you say
are flags ever indoors? They are, I guess, right? Like at a hockey game or something.
Yeah. But I'm just thinking, I guess, like even in the process of because if you let a flag touch the ground at the packing process, is it like cursed?
Yeah,
You know,
that's
like if you
true.
ship someone
Maybe
a flag
that's why
that has touched the ground,
Maybe that's why America is in decline, because they let flags touch the
let
ground
flags
in
touch
the
the-
manufacturing. I also just
The
love the
main
idea
flag
of
factory.
like psycho Americans being so obsessed with the flag, which already is just like so bizarre and strange to me, and I just can't even like place it. But then that they would also then like do the most insane Blue Lives Matter edits and like practically parodies of the flag. Like sometimes I just
Yeah.
will spend hours like scrolling with and drooling with my mouth open, looking at like vigilante cop merch on Teespring or whatever, and just see all the like fucked up designs they've come up. I love it. It's like that's like the new like Jesus Reese's peanut butter cup shirt is like some fucked up Punisher skull that's on like a Tide logo, and it has like a million flags that have been deconstructed. It's like I love it. It's insane to me. But then if you like let the flag touch, so what if it's a Blue Lives Matter flag and that touches the ground, or thin blue line, I guess is what it's called. Does that count? Is that a flag still?
I think it's like a subvariant of the flag, right? It's like the Omicron of flags. So, you know what I think the thing is? They shouldn't make flags because you're right. Like you were right earlier when you said burning flags is sick. Because have you ever seen a photo of a flag being burned, any flag anywhere, and not thought, "Oh, that's fucking awesome"? Like flags burn,
Yeah.
so sick. They should
They're
make
also
flags
very
burn.
flammable. So I mean that
Is
was
that
already a mistake.
they got to make flags
to make them that
if
way.
you don't want a flag to burn. Like I'm just gonna look up.
What if
flag
there was like
burning
a
right
sort
now
of
just
like
to kind of vibe with it?
What about like a kind of twee anarchist flag that is kind of like has a scent? It's almost like an incense, and you can like fill your
Ooh.
room with maybe some Moroccan oil or some patchouli or something. I think that could be a really nice way to kind of modernize the flag burning feeling. Really.
God, flag burnings look fucking awesome. So the song goes on.
Yeah, I love this
and-
next
and-
part. So is this the part that you think is a criticism of the scene? Because to me, I think this part is I like it. It feels like it's encouraging me to say this next, specifically the next line. I feel like that's Ian saying, "Keep going, soldier. You're doing great, buddy."
You should also click through to the Genius annotation. Irony is the refuge of the educated, always complaining, but they never quit. Cool's eternal, but it's always dated. Oh my God.
Yeah, of course it has
It's
The Simpsons.
so
Are you being
good.
sarcastic, man? Which I think, like, again, the "Are you being sarcastic?" I don't even know. Like, I think that was supposed to be a critique of something, but it just like resonates with me in like a way that just feels right. I like it.
That's basically the pod, yeah. Fugazi here distances themselves from the cliches about Generation X. They go against the grain of hiding behind an irony stance, implying that this is a privilege of those that are able to nag about the world, but will benefit from it. Damn.
We do
I
talk a
love to
lot about
nag the world.
Fugazi's like sense of humor for a very long time later in this episode, and maybe that's it. Is that they just don't like irony, and that's why they're not.
Yeah,
to go on,
maybe
like,
they just
with
don't
a
have
YouTube
our
show.
sense of humor. Like maybe that's it. Like Fugazi do not have our sense of humor because I think saying like, I mean, it's like sarcasm is the lowest form of humor, or something is the last refuge of a scoundrel. I can't remember what that thing is. It's,
Isn't the sarcasm thing about wit or something? I don't know.
Yeah,
All those
it's
quotes are like from fucking Louis C.K. or something, I think. At this point. It's like,
every quote is either from Louis C.K. or Morgan Freeman. Those are the two people who have said things worth quoting before. But Cool's eternal, but it's always dated is like
that's so embarrassing, actually.
It's so good.
It really falls apart there. Don't talk about cool out loud. Don't say that. Even though
Singing
you're right.
about the essence of cool is, I think, quite cool. And then the last verse, it's not worth. It's the investment that keeps us tied up in all these strings. We draw lines and stand behind them. That's why flags are such ugly things.
That's sick.
Which I only learned today, doing an incredibly minor amount of prep for this episode, that Facet in Facet Squared is supposed to be for flags are such ugly things.
Right. And I feel like later on
Which
someone
is-
says it's a homonym, but I feel like it's actually more of a homophone, is what I'm thinking off the top of my head. So
That's
remember
interesting.
that later.
That's very, very
remember
interesting.
that I was
Yeah.
right later on. I love that. I think also, as you just read it, I realized they don't really rhyme very often. But then when they do, it sure hits. I mean, that's why flags are such ugly things. God damn, Ian. My God,
Like
my
rhyming
guy.
just does not. Rhyming just does not feel like a thing that is important to Fugazi, and so it's so funny to be like, oh damn, like you realize you're like, oh, that's why people do rhyme in pop songs. Like it's really effective.
Yeah. The words
Like
sound the
sometimes
same.
it's great to just sort of say your piece or whatever, but you can that's part of what makes the song like punch is there is this like really simplistic musicality to it that then like gets all this other fucking sick shit built around it.
Yeah. So good.
We did, I believe, last week sort of start poking around worldoffugazi.pbworks.com.
Yeah,
which is
what
like
the fuck is that?
Fugazi wiki that it seems like
If
kind
you
of
are-
one person.
So just for those listening, because maybe you might have to stop listening, it says, if you are a citizen of an European Union member nation, you may not use this service unless you are at least 16 years old. So anyone underage who is a citizen of an European Union member nation, you're going to need to fuck off right now, please.
You got to get the fuck out of here.
Come back in, I don't know, 15, maybe. Well, let's talk about this page for half an hour, actually.
In the sort of song definition, it's a pretty light Wikipedia. There are only a few songs that they've offered interpretations of, but one of those songs, thankfully, is Facet Squared. I love the first line of this song. This comes from Sam,
that's
whose
you.
website is Il Capitano and then a website. I
That's
love the
email
first line of
address.
the song.
There's no way that email
Yeah.
address still exists. I think we can dox them. ilcapitano@netscape.net. Go ahead and try to
Yeah,
email
right.
Sam.
Sam is probably not still there. I love the first line of the song. Pride no longer has definition. Everybody wears it. It always fits. It's so true. Anybody and everybody claims to have integrity. See, this is where it's like, but then they'll stab you in the back.
Right.
Apparently, there's pride in everything. That's not true. The whole song's lyrics are wonderful. I love Cool's Eternal, but it's always dated. I did write this. I think it hits on ideas of people striving for the wrong things in life, mainly money, success, position. People don't think about what's important anymore. This song has a lot in it. Just read the words. I guess they just had a lot on their chest they needed to get off. The music is so powerful, too. I love the song and the record.
Oh, that's so nice. Zero
I
comments.
couldn't agree
Just
more.
speaking to the
Could not agree
void
more.
15 years ago on PB Works. No one's responded.
Just voiding out.
Even
you know?
15 years ago, I doubt that Netscape.net was really doing the work.
I don't really remember any Netscape.net addresses. You know what? I want to talk more about like the music of this song, but let's do that by watching all these insanely fucking sick live
Please,
videos. Right?
yes.
So here they are playing it in Washington in '92. So they
They've got a banner that says "Turn off your TV."
it's so good.
Guess what?
I mean,
don't
just
even
like-
own a TV, bitch.
This like opening, these guitars. Like we were watching a video in one of the other episodes where like this song started and it was just like I don't even know how to turn it off.
Yeah, it's
Like
so
the-
sick.
How is Ian getting the out of his
He's
guitar?
flicking
Because-
his switch. There's like a little
it the-
kill
the
switch on the
pickups
SG.
or whatever?
I think the SG might have a kill switch where it's feeding back and then
okay.
he's just flicking it. One person is jumping up and down. Get them out of there. Kick them out.
Yeah. Like this guitar part, like every part of the song. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, this song is so sick.
Oh my god.
He has like the perfect level of Bill Murray baldness in this.
Yeah. Like everyone is like having such a great time.
Yeah, they're all doing like
I love
peanuts dancing.
how how much this band played outside.
They really did. And also, like, you know, the turn off your TV banner is really funny. The idea that you're not allowed to dance a certain way is obviously really funny, but why would you want this band to not be, like, stick in the mud serious guys? Like, that makes them even sicker
Yeah.
that they're so grumpy.
If this band between songs was like,
Move up,
take
everybody!
this mic from me.
Yeah, let's see some body bags in the pit!
Oh my god, like this
they're
fucking
so
song.
cool. This part is really like Beatlesy actually. The guitar
It's
like
super-
does some pinkies up kind of chord progression.
How is this video 5 minutes long, actually?
Yeah, I don't really get that. Did they turn into the Fugazi version towards the end?
That's been our experience this week, so maybe let's just like let it ride.
There's really interesting drums on it too.
Okay, so it's just
This
like,
goes into
because
it.
it's also exit only. But the drums are fucking awesome. Okay, so let's just while we're watching outdoor videos, here they are playing it in Berkeley in '93, also outside, which I guess was a function of like all ages spaces in
yeah.
college towns, maybe.
I mean, outside is the ultimate all ages venue is the great outdoors, and it actually shouldn't even cost $5. It should cost no dollars, really.
Man, imagine just like hanging over the wall, watching Fugazi play at Berkeley in 1993.
And then going inside and writing the turfiest essay ever written.
Yeah, every one of these people wrote a master's thesis in defense of gender. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're funky with it.
But you're right, that bass.
Ian's
The bass
rocking
is
the shorts on stage too. And he's got dark socks with like fucking rhinestones or something. He looks sick as hell though. I think we've been doing the pod long enough that I do think Fugazi seemed lame 5 years ago, and now they seem cool as hell to me.
You know, like, I don't know how you could watch it. We can't be watching these videos and not think that they're not, like, the fucking coolest. I think, I don't know, it goes along with, like, anything, you know, that, like I said, listening to these songs, just being like, oh yeah, they you know, they kind of nailed a thing. Sort of unassailable.
Yeah.
I want to watch. I remember this one being pretty sick. This is also '93. There's a lot of videos in this era of them playing it, and I want to, you know.
It's weird that they're indoors now. It's freaking me out.
I know. So is he just sort of generating that tone of feedback and then just doing the kill switch like every time?
I think so.
I was wondering, like, I mean, it's
Or maybe it looks like he's doing some kind of. Or maybe it's the kill switch. I can't tell. Maybe he's strumming. But yeah, you can hear the barreling bass now.
It's barreling. Like, this is just like a VHS, like, side of stage. Oh, this is so fucking awesome.
It's so cool. That's such a sick stop for the guitar, too.
It's unbelievable. Oh my god, they're so fucking cool.
Yeah, this fucking rules. Yeah, this song is really poppy, actually.
It really is. It's so funny, right? So, they clearly eventually start playing the song way faster. This is it in 98. 98 in Olympia.
I love that his
And I'm
little,
like-
these little noodles are different each time, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just hitting the... Or just changing the pickups. Maybe it's not a kill switch.
It seems like physically demanding.
That riff also almost sounds D-beat a little bit.
Yo, totally. Like, it's so fast now.
Oh, that's so sick.
Okay, would you rather watch... I got two more, but at some point they are just sort of the same sick live video, but I do want to watch one more. You can either watch 98 Portland, so, you know, same tour nearby. I don't think that one was good. And then I also have one 99 Rome, and beside that I wrote very vibey.
Well, obviously we need the vibes.
Okay, let's watch the Ian's sort of like being very still until he's got to sing. It's cool. Okay, here they are in Rome a year later, being very vibey. Oh yeah, this is like edited kind of in a sort of aggressive way. So it's got titles and stuff. Like it feels like it was from like a
Maybe like a VHS scene or something.
yeah or something. Like it's like kind of not uninstrument-like in the way that it's sort of stitched together.
Oh, like credits all the members.
Yeah, credits in like old
It's
much
spelled
music
V
font.
Picciotto like an Italian way, G-U-I.
Yes.
That's cool. Oh, this must be from the board. I'm really hearing the bass. This is so sick.
It's so fucking sick.
I mean, the funny thing about them being like kind of wet blankets and stuff is like when they're playing this song, they definitely feel cool as hell. Like they feel like rock stars for sure.
But
Before
that's so
they
funny
came
is,
in,
like,
Brendan Canty had his sticks up in the air like he was about to like rock out. There's no question they don't think that they're cool as hell while they're doing that.
But it is pretty funny, like. So also we should share this video because it is like a multicam VHS edit. Like it's so 90s.
It's really
It's
cool.
fucking awesome. A lot of the Fugazi stuff that's up on YouTube is like full shows, and so before you like find the time-coded song links or whatever to look for stuff for the episode, you end up hearing them come on stage, and it's always like, hello, we are Fugazi from Washington. I don't know if they say, maybe I'm fucking up and they say the same thing every time. But it's like, all the between song stuff is like, thank you, here is another song. Like it's funny because they're still putting on a fucking show. Like, you know what I mean? They're still like being a sick rock band to your point. But then they like refuse to do, because you know you can argue like when you're being cool looking while playing guitar, it's like, well, you know, it's your performance. You're being carried away by rocking this sick song so much. But it's like anything else that feels unnatural is just absolutely ignored. Yeah, and it's so funny.
I know.
Because if between songs there was more like, this song is about your friends that stab you in the back.
If he did vocalisms, I would be so pumped. But, you know, I like the Shy Guy vibe too. It's cute.
It's cute. It's cute too. And so that's, you know, I mean, what an opener too. Just like everything. The idea of hearing that in the middle of a set seems very funny to me, because it just feels like that's how like every record and live show should start. It's just with that song.
That's true. I mean, they're very good at opening albums. Fugazi, the band Fugazi, who we're talking about.
They know how to do it. And I can't wait to hear how other people have also been inspired by this wonderful song.
We pause it to pee and get a drink, and it's actually seamless to go back into it the way I do it, and yet I still feel the need to say something about.
We're back. You know what? I didn't pee because I've had too little liquid this out. I
peed and it was like one little spurt. It was like like I cummed
like
pee.
A hot spurt.
It was like I cummed pee, but only one rope of pee.
Right, like you've been peeing all day.
Well, I've just been so empty.
So there's no pee left
since I dreamt about you this morning. By the way, that's what I'm gonna play first before I play all the other shit I found. I'm gonna play this because I thought we should play this here too. I think this, you know, it's not out yet as of press time. I think this new Scoozy is an all-timer. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of disastrous events that happen. I had a dream about Sam this morning that I told him about, and I tell all of you about my
morning dream.
My Sam dream. My morning dream. I mean, does this sound good to everyone? Does this music Fugazi
We're talking
sound good
over
to
it.
you?
Let's.
Why is it Batman on here?
It's like some fan thing. It's not like anyone in Fugazi or Wu-Tang.
Sam loves Fugazi. Did you listen to Fugazi?
I do love Fugazi.
Did you listen after we talked?
I did. I literally I put on Fugazi right after we finished talking.
Oh my god.
After everything that we learned in that Scoozy, I still put on Fugazi.
I feel like someone's.
Because I'm a man. If it feels good, do it, baby.
Fireworks outside my apartment right now. Is it a firework day? Is today a firework day? I don't think so.
Let's see. It is. It's Discovery Day in the Yukon. But that's it. So
that must be why. So anyways, patreon.com/155pod. You can hear us talk about Fugazi. You've all been asking for it endlessly while your prayers have been answered. We talk about Fugazi and also my possibly erotic dream that I had about Sam. And it's been a long day of talking. We did our guest spot before the episode. It's all been coming to this very moment, which is the cover section of whatever this Fugazi song is called that we're talking about right now.
It's the flag song. It's the flag song.
How do you say this word? Facet? Facet?
Facet.
Facet.
Yeah.
Facet squared. Okay, well, you know, I was searching around for covers, and it was kind of an interesting journey because I found this thing instead called Fugazi Guap Squad, which I thought was just such a cool name. It's also spelled with a Y. I just wanted to know what this was. I also haven't previewed any of these yet, so this is interesting vibe. I mean, this is sick as hell.
Yeah, I would like to be in the Fugazi Guap Squad.
Fucking ganged up. Does he have a Wiimote that he's aiming at the camera? This is incredible. Now they're like out of the car. They're maybe. What are they doing?
Yo, this video is fucking awesome. They're like hanging out with their like tiny, like a Yorkshire Terrier dog.
It looks like they're in the suburbs of Calgary, but maybe I'm wrong. We're humble, and that's why we're the best is the description. Fugazi, so it's Fugazi with a Y for the Guap Squad, but then it's Fugazi with an I Productions. They have 5 subscribers. Mostly, I think video game clips. Did they just say your mama?
I was too busy. The guy was
Oh, those are American dollars,
doing
right?
the stir fry, but with the Wii-Mo.
Oh, the cooking dance. Okay, that's American. So they're not. We're humble, and that's why we're the best. So that's the Fugazi
Right.
Guap Squad. I don't know how we got from Facets Squared to that. But then I was just kind of poking around, and I thought this is kind of interesting. And it has the title in the video, "How to Facet Pottery, Extra Wide Facets from Square to Round." This is Clay Clips with Bill Van Gilder. I don't know if this has anything to do with Fugazi or not. VanGilderPottery.com for workshops, tools, DVDs, and more.
As I said earlier in another clip, I really like faceting.
There you go.
And I play around with it a lot, and so should you. One of the things I've discovered how to do is produce these really wide facets.
Oh.
But on a round pot, that's kind of difficult. So I square it up first.
There we go. Facet
I'm going to show
Square.
you how I
Because
do it.
I honestly thought that maybe they were referencing a real thing with the song, but
Now, like all my faceting, I start
this is
with a
pretty
cylinder,
erotic.
and I facet a straight wall.
Do
So
you believe it
let's
took
bring
till
this
the
up.
80s for someone to make
The
an
wall
erotic
is at
film
least
about
half an
this?
inch thick.
Yeah, about this wet mass
Inside
that you
of this pot
turn
is
into a
rounded.
cylinder and
This is a
jam your
cup
fingers
form.
into.
Wow, pottery is fucking sick.
So I'm being very
you should-
conscious of
you
how
should
far
get- you
apart
should
my
become, like,
fingertips are
Seth
as they come up the
Rogen
wall. Make sure I keep
Yeah.
this alcove down
That
below.
man's done a lot for pottery.
I hate to say it, but his little weed startup,
I'm going to use a rib now
It's
and
pretty
remove
sick.
the finger lines
they have beautiful
from
pottery.
inside. All those grooves.
They have vinyls.
I wanna
they
take them
make
away.
mixtapes on.
because they'll transfer
I mean, this
to
is
the
all-
faceting.
I know that
As I
you would
push
never
this
get mad
form
anymore
outward.
because I'm the boss, but this is actually the most on topic that one of these things has ever been. He's
I'm going to
literally
use a rib,
squaring a
smooth
facet.
the outside wall,
Look at this amazing cup this man is making.
clean the wheel head,
Yeah, no, I'm learning.
and remove the water from the
I
inside.
wonder if Seth
of the
Rogen
cup.
likes this so much.
Do you think there is a ghost behind him?
I think there's a ghost behind all of us.
Has anyone seen the movie
Now it's
Ghost,
really
or did we
important
just
that
know
the
that
outside
scene?
of this wall,
Is it even a movie?
this surface, this flat surface is
I
dry.
think it's a movie. I've
gonna be
certainly
soft,
never
but
seen
I
it.
want it
I've only
dry.
ever seen the scene
The reason for
parodied.
that is the
Yeah.
next step, which is
Probably
squaring.
by Seth Rogen?
Now, when
I
I
don't
square
know.
pot,
Or maybe I'm
I
just
feel like
thinking
in
of
I feel like
the
in Naked
YouTube
Gun
video.
they did it a lot.
I use
too,
masonite
maybe.
again.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. He's
Fuzzy
gonna square
side
it.
touches the tacky surface and won't
I feel like
stick
every
to it.
Naked Gun has like
But when I
3
square,
ghost
I'm going to actually
They
create
have
the
like a
corners.
45-minute
I'm not gonna
sex
push
scene
the
with
wall
novelty,
in, but I'm
full
gonna
body condoms and
create the
whatnot.
corners.
And they just don't
Yeah.
make movies like that anymore.
And I do that by configuring these things in a corner.
He's
and
literally
press them
squaring a
up against
facet.
the
I mean,
pot
this-
and squeeze it. There's the first corner, and then I work
Dude, I would be so scared.
around the pot like a clock.
How is he not ruining
12,
his
6,
beautiful
3,
pottery?
and 9.
Oh my god. This is.
It's what? How are you feeling right now?
Okay, there's my squared pot.
He
Now, if I
squared it.
really push hard with the masonite,
I thought it was nicer when it
I
was
can
round.
get rid of this
I think
slightly.
he's doing it for some kind of purpose. But I don't know what it is.
I don't have to change
No, it looks like
and
shit.
correct every little burr
fucked
that's
it
on
up,
this
Bill.
pot right now.
Stupid piece of shit. Fuck you, Bill.
you,
Bill, what's your name? Bill Van Gilder? Pottery? Go fuck yourself. No wonder you have just a YouTube channel. You fucked it up, you idiot. Here's another one. Now, the only reason I'm playing this one is because it literally says it's for JH in the thing.
Hey,
Most
guys.
important
Wow.
facet of the channel,
Gals?
lock
Any
swing.
gals out there?
This is for me, so.
Welcome to practice tea.
He said, guys, gals, are there
Okay,
any gals
guys,
out
now-
there? This is a 23
Today I'm
minute
going to
video.
head this video up. The single most important
This guy's kinda
aspect
drippy.
of
Yeah.
the channel lock, golf swing,
I feel like he dressed
and
up
the
for
protocol. The
Sorry,
single
well, this video's for,
most
why is it for
important aspect.
JH? There's no information on here.
And guys, without question of a doubt,
Oh, his name is JH, though.
it's
Great
the
video,
angle,
JH.
the angle or the angulation that we fire the club on and with
What the fuck? Why is this for
in the execution of the
JH?
downstroke,
I don't
He
know.
is JH.
and the intention.
He's me.
Just let me adjust this. I'll just try this.
Wait, I can't remember. Do you golf?
No. Do you golf?
No, we already talked about. You talked about this like 1 week ago.
Yeah. So we're not going to learn anything from JH here.
Whoa. Okay, breaking news. I have my ad blocker
Okay,
turned
well,
off.
we know that
on
channel
Watch
lock
Together.
is a closed-shouldered golf
I
swing.
think Greta Van Fleet
and
might
it's
be coming
closed-shouldered because, or shouldered, because we want to swing
run
in a
to
channel.
your apartment?
You know, and
here. I mean, hopefully.
To the pod?
is that when Mr. X,
Would you? Is there any topic you're interested in enough that you would watch a 23-minute, 37?
God, no. I wouldn't watch.
If I need to figure out how to, like,
I wouldn't watch
fix-
a video with sound about something I'm interested in.
Yeah, like if you like need to fix, I don't know, if, like your IKEA drawer broke and you want to look up a tutorial. If it's like more than 45 seconds long and there's an intro video, I start getting like sweaty and hot and angry.
I've
already.
recently discovered that most things that you think you need a full YouTube video for, there's usually a diagram on if you just Google image search the question. And it saves you, because I do that where I'm like, I'll just sort of watch the beginning and be like, don't care, and I'll kind of skip to the middle and then I'll skip to the end and then I won't fix whatever I'm trying to fix. But like, I just cannot be bothered, like at all.
Yeah, I don't think
Ever.
I agree. Well, this
If
is called,
if a diagram can't fix it, I don't want it to be fixed.
This is called Facets Squared, and again, I haven't previewed it, so and I didn't know the song well enough when I was searching for these. So even if I had previewed it, I'm not sure if this is Fugazi or not. It's Facets Squared. This is by Terry Lyne Carrington with Greg Osby, Adam Rogers, and Jimmy Haslip. It's from 2004, published by Diagoro Music, SESAC. I don't know. Do you think this is Fugazi? We'll have to see. It kind of feels like it could be still.
I mean, if you were to tell me, if some jazz person were to be like, it's an interpolation of the root
Exactly.
note, and, yeah.
It's kind of sick, first of all.
I think it is. I think this is Fugazi.
Oh, and Terry Lyne Carrington, who is credited top player, is actually the drummer. That's so sick when the drummer gets top. Give the drummer some.
When you got it, when you're giving the drummer some, yeah.
I mean, they're cooking. They're absolutely cooking.
Those facets are cooking, absolutely.
I mean, age 57. That's the age to fuck with Fugaz.
Yeah, that's true. Is there any Fugaz on the?
There's no Fugaz whistles
on the wiki.
There's no Fugaz whistles on here, so I don't know.
I mean, whatever it is, it's great. The next episode is going to be about this.
Yeah, they're cooking. Thank you, Terry et al. For some reason, the pause button is not working for me now. It's an interesting development. I don't know what to do. I guess I'll go to the next thing. This is Facet Squared Fugazi cover from SoundCloud by Sports Fortress.
Ooh.
That's a fucking 2006 ass name if I've ever heard one.
This is like.
This is
Deep
kind of a
fakey
bogus
and guitar is
Fugazi
good.
cover, but I enjoy it, so here it is. They've written. This is sick.
Yeah, this is awesome. Yes, this is
It's
good.
like very silly sounding. It almost has like a rockabilly feel to it. This, like synth rockabilly. Oh, yes.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, so you're like Adam, eh? Like
Yeah, totally. This is sick. Sports Fortress. I'm sorry for mocking your band name.
This is really good.
Yeah, I love it. So sick. So Sports Fortress. This one this might be a live bootleg, in which case I'm very sorry. It's not a cover, and I fucked up badly. This is Brendan's tapes. Digital SBD.
Yeah, I feel like this is... Yeah, this is
who
the
cares? We
real
don't want to
thing.
hear Ian anymore. Fuck that. I'm so sorry, everyone. I've wasted your time for the first time ever.
This has ever happened. Yeah, this is... wow. I think this is the first time for me.
I also don't know why I have this on here. I need to double... I'm really falling apart today. I think it's because it's been many hours.
Why?
Here we go.
Why
This
is dog milk plowing mud forever?
Oh, sorry. That was supposed to be in an incognito tab that I was searching dog milk. Okay, here we go. Plowing Mud Forever plays Dog Milk, and Raleigh throws in a little Facet squared for good measure at the Moonlight Mile Show, 12/11/09 in Hoboken, New Jersey. Ralph
So
tries
Dog
to lead
Milk
a
is
chant
not the
for
name
us.
of the band.
Yeah, that is a much better band name than Plowing Mud.
When I say plowing, you say mud and forever.
Or maybe they're aware of how their band name is. No disrespect, but when I see Mapex drums, I immediately don't want to check the band out.
Oh yeah, that was. So I guess that was it. I feel like
That was it. I talked over the whole thing.
Mud and forever.
And there's a disgustingly wet belch.
oh they like it. The other
And then like the worst bass line I've ever heard. On a 5-string bass. What is this?
hold on.
Fuck am I
Is this like what happens when you listen to Helmet too much?
Yeah.
Or whatever? Like
Or like if you listen to Primus but you have Mapex drums, then you make music like this.
yeah.
Oh, this is so disgusting. This does sound like Plowing Mud Forever.
Yes.
Primus, right? Is that what they're doing?
It's very yeah. It's
Structurally, it's actually kind of similar to the Fugazi song.
that rules.
Really
Plowing Mud Forever
difficult.
is my favorite post-Primus band.
If you like, that music sounds like the kind of the music that would come from someone who would have the phrase "dog milk" and "Plowing Mud Forever" and not choose "Dog Milk" as the band name. Because "Dog Milk" is like definitely some like post-fest like thinking person's
totally.
pop punk. Oh, we're Dog Milk.
Dog
and then,
Milk
like,
definitely is
you
like
watch
one,
Dog
Dog
Milk-
Milk's got a manager and
Dog Milk
you
has a
know.
manager, and you watch them, you love them, you buy all the merch, or they have like cute tote bags, and then every single member has a different Notes app apology that contradicts the other Notes apps, and it's a whole thing. It's like practically trending on Twitter for a day, and then everyone forgets Dog Milk. So maybe in the end, Plowing Mud Forever wins. The next band is called This Mission Does Not Exist, and they're doing a Facet Squared. It's in 2010. Oh my god, the guy, it's hard to see because it's so low quality, but the guy playing guitar has a deep V and a really high Telecaster and a toque. And
Yeah, it's definitely like an era-specific vibe.
like, this seems like that band Mouse Rat from Parks and Rec, kind of. They're playing it so they're playing like a surf song.
Yeah, it's real Dale and Dale vibe. Oh, fuck.
These covers are kind of
Bruce
making
and
me hate
Dale.
it. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, a different guy just showed up to sing.
Sorry, the guy sort of charging in from stage right to take the center microphone And so, like, everyone is jammed stage left now. Like, there are 3 guys all trying to occupy half the stage, and half the stage is totally empty.
This band has 4 videos, and they're all from this show. So I wonder if this is all the... This is in New York, by the way. Oh, you can see Brooklyn.
Oh, wow.
I'm surprised they didn't get signed to Rough Trade. I don't know. I mean...
Wow. All right. Cool.
Okay, so that's one. And then here's one. Fake Ghazi. I don't know what's going on.
I'm interested.
Wait, I also just realized something incredible, but we'll notice in a sec. So this is like it's one of those practice spaces that seems like it's a pay-to-play practice space. Not in the sense that you're renting it, but in the sense that they probably paid for like to rent each mic stand and everything. To have like these lights and balloons and whatnot. Man, this has bad vibes this week. What is this? Like weird like Scientology funeral home that they're playing in.
Okay, and once again, we've got a singer who looks like Carl from Earth Crisis.
Yeah. Maybe I actually hate the bass line when I can hear it.
I feel like he's playing it like an octave up. The singer's really like
he's really
getting ready to uncoil.
Juiced. I hope he turns around for the cam.
Nope. The bass is like too clean. It's just like it is the earlier impression of Joe Raleigh bass lines that I was doing.
Yeah, this is rough. Well, the next one I didn't realize because I haven't checked these. It's our friends Plowing Mud Forever doing a full on.
Everybody out there still hate Fugazi?
Oh, everyone out there still hates Fugazi. Let's hear the audience.
Does everybody out there still hate Fugazi?
Yeah. No.
Well, we got 2 no's and 1 yes, apparently. So I guess we'll play a Fugazi song.
Yeah.
That's kidding.
Joke.
There's no joking here. It's a serious business.
Where did that organ
You're gonna
sound
play
come
a
from?
Fuck Ozzy song? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Andy, mind your language.
This is so uncomfortable. Are you still here? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just like not having a good time right now. Oh, I love the again. Is there a trio? No one is doing the first guitar part.
Yeah. I like how they have plastic Christmas decorations surrounding the Mapex.
I mean, which is in and of itself sort of just a big plastic Christmas decoration.
I can't wait to hear the vocals.
He had a very unique approach. Honestly, I think they're not good at writing songs, but I actually really think this guy's whole vocal thing is kind of great.
Yeah, they're okay. Found their Facebook.
Ah, how they doing?
Well, they broke up. It says we put the in metal.
Okay.
Look at their back, actually. It seemed like they broke up and then they released. Oh, that's enough Plowing Mud Forever.
Wow.
They have an album called Behind the Eye Meat that they released in. Well, here's. This is so depressing. This is released in 2016. This is the deluxe 6th anniversary edition of Behind the Eye Meat, which apparently Plowing Mud Forever started as a 2-piece project with an ambitious electronic metal sound and blew up to a 5-piece outfit with too many influences to concentrate. And then they became a lean, mean power trio. So this album was demoed in 2009, recorded in 2010, mixed in 2011, mastered and failed in 2012, mastered successfully in 2013. 2014 was the artwork. 2015 was a nap, and then it was released in June 2016. So this is Behind the Eye Meat by Plowing Mud Forever. So that's kind of cool.
Okay, you know what? I'm not depressed anymore.
Really? I'm a lot more depressed than I was before, but...
no, I'm good now.
So that's whatever I said they're called. A couple more. We're going to skip this one, and we're going to play. We're going to have to do some more. Unfortunately, we're going to have to hit play at the same time again. This one I think might be worth it, though. This is by Santa Dogs on Bandcamp. This is from the album Microfish from 2019.
Okay.
So let's hit play at this. I mean, this is 6.5 minutes long. We'll just listen to a little bit. But 3, 2, 1.
I mean, this is great artwork, by the way. It's like a
a microfiche. Is that like a reference to microfiche in the library? Is that what it is? This is from Paris, also. I mean, there's a nice amount of bullshit going on so far that I'm enjoying. I checked already. There's a French guy who starts.
Right, no longer a definition. Everybody wears it. It's always because taking back for the lack of position. Strength in the bed that keeps up so busy. If it's temporary, then I tear it to pieces, senseless or senseless in the frenzy.
That's probably enough, but I think it does hit the chorus. I skipped ahead, and the lyrics are the same. So
the lyrics are that's wow. The French, man.
That's very weird.
Sometimes it's worth keeping them around.
So the very strange vibes this week continue because up next is the Christian nu metal band Project 86 covered Fugazi Facet Squared for some reason. I don't know why. But it's just a really interesting night all around here.
Oh my god.
Why? This is from Project 86 EP, The Influence. They also covered BC Boys, Sabotage, Man of Constant Sorrow, Strange Fruit, Fell on Black Days.
It's funny because, like, definitely, like, that logo looks.
I was just gonna say, it's very sus.
White power, right? Like, if you hadn't known that these dudes were Christian, would you not think there was a chance this was like a white supremacist band?
I mean, I hate to break it to you, but there's quite a bit of crossover between Christians and white supremacists.
I mean, I don't believe it.
Also, there's no fucking way Project 86 is influenced by Fugazi. What a load of shit. But it is delivering a little bit of the nu metal that you wanted.
Wow. I'm just looking at Project 86 Nazi because it's like very. That logo's fucking weird.
I'm curious what they look like. Actually, I never really got into this band. They kind of they look like they don't look great in terms of beating the allegations, but I don't know. No, they just look like some guys.
This logo is crazy. How is this their logo? Like, I Googled it. I was like, is it a mistake? Like, no, their logo is like a fucking really noble eagle.
crest.
Jesus
I don't know. I feel like if Matt
Christ.
Skiba had it on his shirt, you'd be happy with it. But because they're Christian,
I'd
you're going to
like
be
be
harder on
dancing
them.
around
You're going to be
it.
harder
I'd
on
be
them
like-
because they're not Satanists, like your favorite Matt Skiba. This is
Yeah, it
bullshit.
basically is. What is this? It's the. I mean,
Iron
it looks like
Eagle
the
or something, or
the iron. Yeah, what is it? The coat of arms or whatever. It's the.
well,
Jesus
it's
Christ!
Project. Come on, they're influenced by Fugazi. They can't be bad. That's the.
I found a article. Looks like Project 86 are not the first people to do it. There was a school in Cobb County, Georgia, that had a similarly. It basically looks like the Project 86 logo. They got in a lot of trouble for it. Some Cobb County parents were stunned when an elementary school released a new logo that some thought looked like a Nazi symbol. And when you see it, you can just sort of scroll into the video around 12 seconds. You could really see those, and then the Project 86 logo, kind of all identical.
I'm gonna see if maybe anyone's tweeted about. I'm gonna search Project 86 Nazi. No, nothing. I mean, yeah, it's definitely sus as hell. And also, the cover did not
insanely sus. It's like the fucking same. It's the fucking exact same. Like, I'm looking, it's got the lines on the wings and shit. That is suspect.
Well, I think they might have broken up this year, so maybe not. Maybe cancel culture finally got to them.
No, it looks like cancel culture.
Their last
finally
album,
came
"Sheep Among Wolves," might have been. Or no, their upcoming. I don't know. I can't keep track of this shit, but. Either way, we've all made mistakes before. And they covered
let he use without sin, to use one of their,
Exactly.
Something they might understand.
So safe to say, some of the worst covers I think we've ever heard in our life on this
The vibes
episode.
were weird. Real weird.
I'm gonna end it on hopefully a high note that I think will segue us nicely into our indie-centric conversation we're about to have. This is Greg Saunier from Deerhoof. And this is actually really interesting. I think we should revisit this. So this is the classical contemporary collective Stargaze, who relaunched their 2019 Record Store Day release. They made a music video album out of In on the Kill Taker. It's a 37-minute film, and it's a DIY COVID diary. So there's a different music video by a different artist for each song, with all these different people involved. All the arrangements are by Greg Saunier. And so we'll skip ahead. I know the time code. This is Thora Sveinsdottir, who is doing this one, who the name is very familiar. I'm not sure. These New Puritans. I don't know. Maybe there's some like real music heads listening. But yeah, so that's who. Or I can't tell if this is, because it says Thora is in the group Stargaze. So I don't know if. I can't really tell if this is all one band and then different people leading each music video or what, but Stargaze is from Berlin. It's a contemporary classical ensemble. So this is Stargaze and Greg Saunier taking on Facet Squared.
Oh, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's already so much better than those nasty Milk Boys or whatever.
This is like someone is playing a... Okay, so someone is playing the Ian part, like, on a viola with what looks like chopsticks, honestly.
And then there's like a painted
that sound.
tummy that makes a honking clown noise just to make sure that you know that it's some fringe art shit. This is very sick.
Oh my god. This is fucking awesome.
That might have been the whole thing. I think it was. That's the covers. That's Facet Squared. I had a lot of fun in a new sort of slightly off-putting way. that will continue for the listener now. But it's been a great night again. Thank you, Fugazi. Thank you, Sam. FUGUZT is jollily awesome, in my opinion.
FUGUZT. Now, I feel like, we kind of just launched into it with our guests, so should we do a slight intro so there's some context?
Go ahead.
So this week we're talking to Vish Khanna, who I've known forever. Like when I got into music journalism, like Vish was part of an original era of Exclaim when I was still in university and started working as a journalist. And he's, to me, the definition of someone who like is a couple of years older than you and super into Fugazi, and you're like, this guy's fucking cool. And Vish has done, many sick things over the years, but for the last few years he's been doing his own podcast, Kreative Kontrol, and he's covered the shit out of Fugazi his whole life and on that podcast. And so I was very excited.
Yeah, I feel like it's sick to have like, an actual Fugazi fan instead of, we're Fugazi fans, but we're also like dumbasses, I think.
Yeah, he's like a capital F Fugazi fan, whereas we're like the cool typeface, We're
lowercase.
We're lowercase. We're very lowercase. So I was very stoked to have him on, and he has seen the band, and it's going to be sick to talk to him.
I'm going to stop the tape I have rolling and restart it, and you can decide if you decide to use this because it sounds a little bit better. You can sync it, but you don't need this bullshit.
You're doing actual tape? Is that what you're doing?
No. I just call it tape because I'm old.
But it sounded like a tape recording. Like there was like an analog sound there.
It's an old keyboard. I have a very old PC.
We are. Yeah. This is now officially on the record.
Okay, go ahead.
We're joined by Vish, old collaborator. Friend.
I'm not old. I'm not that old.
Is here.
I'm not that old.
Can we do age reveal on here? I did want to ask, but I don't know if that's appropriate or not.
44 years old. I am old, I guess. But yeah, 44.
That's your first question.
Yes.
How old are you?
Age, sex, location is how we start all of them from now on. I've said
Edmonton, Alberta. Sexual orientation withheld. No, I don't know.
That's like an old school Exclaim questionnaire type of question when they were all like half of the questions would be something that could get you
some nasty
reasonably get you in trouble. Yeah.
a lot of innuendos in that questionnaire. Vish,
how big's your dick?
I never asked anyone that one. Oh my god, I would skip some of those.
That was the bonus question. Vish, longtime listeners and viewers of our streams and our Gatekeeper Plus video tier on patreon.com/155pod may recognize your name from a mug that I drink out of quite a bit. I'm talking about my guest mug from Late Night with Vish Khanna.
Hey, Sam, can you read the mug a little more closely?
Sorry. I'm not drinking out of the mug right now, and
Sam is such a fucking phony. Good Lord.
The answer I know, as Josiah knows, I'm liquidless right now. I'm still liquidless in the room, unfortunately.
That was hours ago.
I know, but I didn't get my shit together in time. Listen, Long Night, because it was part of Long Night in Toronto. Long Night with Vish Khanna, both an excellent, live show and also...
It was part of Long Winter, the Long Winter Festival, that's right. And my friend and maybe one of yours, Colin Medley, thought it would be funny to call the talk show Long Night with Vish Khanna. That's correct.
And it is of course, stylized in the late night format. That's why I fucked up. But you are mug famous to people who pay attention.
Your mug has been...
My mugs. Your mug has been near my mug for many years.
I'm very pleased that you still have the mug. It hasn't been destroyed in some freakish kitchen accident, which you're prone to.
Yes.
No, that's great. Thank you for holding on to that. And thanks for being a guest. As I recall, I razzed you a little bit on stage. For being old but pretending to be young.
He's Sam is very thin-skinned and does not handle razzing very well.
No, you dealt with it well. I still remember our friend Nicole in the audience howling with laughter as I razzed you. She appreciated the razzing, and it's fond memory of mine. But anyway, yeah, thanks for being on my show and having me on yours, Sam. It means a lot.
Seething.
This is my show, actually.
Sorry. I don't even know.
As the boss, we've determined that. No, I've seethed about this for the last 4 or 5 years. You know, I don't know if it was that installment of your show, but I feel like it was payback a little bit because your Ed McMahon, your Andy was James Keyes, former editor of Exclaim magazine, and one time he was asking me how he should introduce you. And I suggested that you should be introduced as the man who will never host Q, Vish Khanna.
Oh my God.
And I remember the way, I feel like there was 2 seconds before you kind of got into it where you didn't think it was funny. And I appreciate that.
No, that is funny. That is very funny because there was no, I'm not even going to talk about this because I'm going to sound like a deluded lunatic. But I think there was less than a second where people thought that could be a thing that happened in the wake of that horrible situation there. That, well, maybe Vish, you know?
Yeah, they canceled the old host of Q named Anon, I think, was...
Yes, that's right. Exactly. We still don't know who it was.
So, Vish, I'm not just trying to be cruel asking you your age right off the top. I do think this is going to be my new interviewing tick, is just asking people their age on immediately. I think it's a great idea. Yeah. But the reason is we're not so different, the three of us, although Sam and I are both... I mean, I'm actually the youngest because it is, as I've been mentioning, it is my birthday month. It's kind of an important theme on the show this month.
Oh, happy birthday. That's lovely.
Yes, thank you. But so I'm 36, Sam is 37, and what was your age again?
44.
44. So that's close, you know, technically within a decade of each other. Mm-hmm. However, I think that you hate Blink-182, and I'm curious. I want to find the middle ground where liking Blink-182 stops and liking, I don't know, Pavement or something. I mean, I like Pavement too. The thing is, I think Sam and I are of the age where we wanted to be cool with people of your age, and then we just eventually gave up and started being cool to people, well, presumably like 3 people younger than us, and then now we're just babbling old men. But I'm curious about the difference between where's that fine line, you know? Maybe it's not something you can answer.
Well, let me first of all clarify. I do not actively hate Blink-182. I don't think about them at all. I just don't. They don't cross my mind. That it's just to say I hate them is too active.
Right.
I just don't. My experience with that band was basically on Much Music, when Much Music still existed, before it was destroyed in that meteor shower or whatever. I don't know what happened to Much Music, but it's gone.
Well, it's more like a media shower. Really.
That's true. That's very good. I'm glad you're here to make that joke. Because I would see them on the television in their videos, particularly the one that makes fun of the Backstreet Boys.
Mm-hmm. All the Small Things.
That's All the Small Things. I know that song. And I would watch that, and that seemed almost Weird Al-esque. Right. But that was like one of the first things I saw. And so on the one hand, mildly amused. On the other, not taking this band seriously. That was my mentality at the time. And then over the years, as you guys know, I interview lots of people. Some of them are younger than me. Most of them are because I'm so old. And some of them are younger than you two. And they say, my favorite band. I'm in Bad, Bad, Not Good. I'm in Partner. Our favorite band is Blink-182. And every time it happens on my show, I go, really? Like I say it like that? Really? Like I can't help it. It's like instinctual, and I don't mean to. I know there's your fans, and the fans of that band are going to be mad at me. And what do I know?
Fuck our fans. They're stupid.
There must be people who come on the show who don't know that band that well or aren't that fond of them. Is that ever? Oh
happened? Yeah, like Phil Elverum. I think I really made him even more depressed than usual.
Right.
Talking to him about Blink-182.
That was famous. A famous episode of yours because you tell the story, but as I recall, Phil didn't even like the band, but he was obsessed with your show. Is that what happened?
Yeah, well, we have some mutual friends, but I was kind of pointing out to him that, ostensibly, his music and Lil Peep's music could be on the same playlist as I Miss You, but it's kind of in the same realm of the broad umbrella of emo, and he was really depressed by that thought. But,
yeah, are Blink-182 considered mall punk?
Well, I mean, I guess the reason I was asking that was because I wanted to introduce the idea of talking about Fugazi in the sense that I guess I just want to know, since you're a little bit older, what was your like punk? Did you have a punk phase? Is there like a Vish punk phase, or have you just been listening to the Sadies like since you were born?
Oh, well, I grew up playing in hardcore punk bands, post-hardcore punk bands, I guess, is what you would call it. That's basically the first musical expression I really got into, and that was with my friends Dallas Worley and Stephen Lamke of the Constantines, who are now better known, I guess, as being in the Constantines. Steve runs You've Changed Records and does his own stuff. But we grew up as teenagers learning how to play music together. And I liked the stuff that you maybe alluded to. I liked Fugazi. We all liked Fugazi. I liked Pavement. I liked Sloan. I liked all that kind of indie rock stuff. Dallas did not like those things. Steve was more open-minded. Steve and I would exchange, Steve was really in on the Merge Records thing. So he was giving me Magnetic Fields CDs or tapes or whatever we would exchange, and all the Stephen Merritt side projects. And he got me into Superchunk. And I was kind of in the middle of both of these and those two guys. And I just loved, we all loved Fugazi. We all got to see Fugazi together. And so seeing that band, or seeing a band like that, it'll change the way you play. Like, there's just no doubt about it. You guys have heard these stories from people all the time, I'm sure. You go see a band, and as a musician, a light bulb goes off, and you don't want to copy that, but it shows you what's possible with your instrument, maybe? Is that a way of putting it? You guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Totally. So how old were you when you saw Fugazi live?
I would have been 17 in 1995, the first time I saw them. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah.
That's fucking sick.
17 or 18. Sick. 17, I think I saw them, yeah, at the Cool House with, I was already studying at the University of Guelph, and we get to the venue, and lo and behold, unbeknownst to us, the opening bands in Toronto at the Cool House, Warehouse, whatever it was called, 2 bands from Guelph, Minnow and Super X. Super X were this like reggae sort of dub band, and then Minnow was this post-hardcore band featuring Aaron Riches, who went on to be in Royal City. Aaron was connected to that whole crew, actually, of people on stage from Guelph were connected to Ian and Fugazi because Aaron got a hold of Ian in like 1988 on the telephone and asked him to play Guelph if they were coming through Canada. And so Fugazi's like second or third ever Canadian show in around 1989 was in a tiny little place called the Loft in Guelph. Downtown Guelph. Very few people could fit in that venue. And Aaron and Ian were just bonded ever since then. And then I became good friends with Aaron. Talked to Aaron just yesterday, actually. He's living in the States now. Anyway, all this to say, we just all became connected and galvanized around our love for that band. And I got to see them, that was the first time was 95, and then I saw them 5 times in 1998, I think, and then one more time in 2001.
Did you follow them around like a deadhead?
Yeah, in 1998, I saw them I'll tell you this story real quick. I organized it. I'll try to tell it quick. It's me. That'll never happen. So it's 1998, and I am on the internet, which was just getting started. There was a thing called the Yahoo or Lycos. I don't remember what the site I used. Anyway, I hear tell that Fugazi, Shellac, and I found out later Blonde Redhead were playing a show at the Congress Theater in Chicago as part of something called the Independent Music Festival, Independent Music Label Festival. This was organized by Steve Albini's then girlfriend, now wife, Heather Winna. She organized this giant event at the Congress Theater. I believe there were 2 nights, actually, the 1998. So I tell Aaron Riches and his friend in Minnow, Phil Hunter, who was also my friend, hey, do you guys want to, what if I buy tickets, we all go down to Chicago? And they said yes so emphatically that I had to do it. And I said it almost like, ha ha ha, wouldn't it be funny if we all got in a car and went to Chicago? Like not serious almost. Like I just was like, wouldn't it be crazy if we did this, guys? And they were like, yes, let's do it. So then I bought a bunch of tickets. I polled around who wants to go. We rented a minivan. It's a 7-person minivan. Guess who accidentally bought 8 tickets? Me. So we had an extra ticket, and somehow still, and I've never lived it down, Dallas Worley was wishy-washy about going. He did not make it on this trip. So it was me, my best friend at the time, a couple of my other good friends, including Steve Lamke, of the guy from the Constantines, and then some other Guelph people. Anyway, we get to the border. We're shitting our pants because there's 8 people in a minivan with 7 seatbelts. You hear what I'm saying, guys? This is 1998.
You guys were bad boys.
Before 9/11. And so crossing the border was not a big deal back then. So we're down in the Michigan area crossing the border. And I'm not going to do the voice, but there was a...
Please do the voice.
No, I don't want to do it because it's vaguely racist, and I don't want to do it. But let me just set the scene.
Against people from Michigan? Like against Midwesterners?
A heavy-set black woman was running the border crossing.
Right, yeah, you can't do that.
Our friend Steve Clarkson, who was in that band Super X I was alluding to earlier, he's driving, and they say, what's your business in the United States of America, you clowns? And Steve says, oh, well, we're going down to see a concert. Concert? Who are you going to see? We're going to see a band called Fugazi. Fugazi? What the hell is Fugazi? Oh, well, they're like they're just like a rock band. What is that, like heavy metal? Yeah, no, it's not heavy metal. It's like post-punk, It's like he's having this genre signifier conversation with this border guard who does not care and does not bother to peer in to do a head count. And a seatbelt count. We are ushered along. We go to the show. It's fantastic. It's just fantastic. The Congress Theater is gorgeous. I mean, it's dilapidated. It was like you guys been to the Great Hall in Toronto?
Yeah,
Pre-renovations?
I'm sure Sam has.
Yeah.
Pre-renovations, dilapidated but majestic but dilapidated, right, Sam? That
is an accurate way to describe it.
Yeah, like you could tell there's a history, and it was well made at one point, but it just got blown to hell by neglect and probably idiots. Anyway, that's what the Congress Theater was like back then, but we were just blown away. Aaron Riches, I don't even remember him encountering Ian at the show, Ian Mackay, but he reaches out somehow and gets word to Ian that we're around and we've come to the Chicago show. Ian invites us to the next night's show in Detroit. It was the State Theater, right? So then we're like, oh my God, okay, well, so we find a hotel or whatever the hell we did. I don't remember what we did. And we go to Detroit, and we get there early enough that somebody lets us into the sort of load-in or backstage area. The first person who talks to me in this theater is Ian Mackay. And he goes, hey, you guys the Canadians? And me and my friend Jake go, yeah. He's like, oh, great, come on in. You should check out the atrium and the ceiling. He was telling us all about the State Theater, which was a beautiful theater, later used as a set in the George Clooney, Jennifer Lopez vehicle Out of Sight.
Oh, wow.
The State Theater was in that as well. Anyway.
Can I pause you for 1 second? I have a question.
Of course.
When you say he invited you, he just said you should come, and you're like, oh, we should come. Or did he offer you like guest list? Because that would have been cheap, obviously, for Fugazi to do.
He did offer. We had passes. You will know this if you. You wouldn't know this. I'll just tell you why you might know this. I got to take photos on stage.
Okay.
Fugazi and Shellac. I had some sort of pass. This is early days for me. I'm not used to the frills of being a freelance journalist, like free tickets to the movies or DVD copy of some Steven Seagal movie. Like that's what we used to get. And they'd say, that's enough. You got that. You don't need to be paid. Anyway, he gave us some sort of access, special all access to stuff. Because it was nice of him, but I like the photos I took to some. They're not great. Like I took them with a point-and-click camera and got them developed at the grocery store. They don't look amazing. But what access I had and what access I took advantage of, because I'm behind them, I'm in their face. Like I'm excited. You can tell by where I went and how much I moved around taking photos that I knew it was special, and it was great. So yeah, and I remember afterwards being upstairs in their green room and talking to them all a little bit here and there, and just just kind of listening, you know. Anyway, so yeah, that was May of '98, and then when you see a band like Fugazi, you get the fever, and so you see, oh, they're coming to Toronto later in the summer. Where else are they playing? Oh, they're playing in Syracuse and Rochester. So another group of friends of mine, this time, including Dallas, because he was very angry he didn't get to go to those other shows. We go, I don't mind saying, I don't think he'd be upset that I said that. He was. And he deserved, okay, let me put it this way. I'm sorry, Dallas.
Shots fired. This guy shit.
Shots fired.
I apologize, Dallas. Like, it was shitty that I forgot. Or I maintain he wasn't fully 100% in. He might debate this. Anyway, we went to Syracuse, Rochester, Syracuse, and Toronto when they played the shows for, this is all just around the time that album End Hits came out. Damn. So we are, Dallas, Steve, and I, fully immersed in End Hits, getting to see the band 5 times on that tour, myself. So then we had a band called Captain Copilot. This preceded them being in Constantine's and me doing other things. And, you know, we're friends since we're our teens. We're not mature enough. It doesn't end well. Our friendships don't last long. And I take a lot of responsibility for that, although I think other people involved who witnessed things would be like, I don't know, man. They were a little too intense, but I'm not gonna revisit that.
No, this is good. I want you to air all your dirty laundry.
Ever since you got on the mic with us, you've really it's been therapy sesh.
I just you asked about my post punk, and this is where we went. So
that's great. But here's what I really want to know, because that's an amazing story, and it's so sick that you did all that. But like, what's the really lame, embarrassing shit that you liked before Fugazi?
I was in the Weezer fan club.
Wow.
I was member number 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, that's really cool. I mean,
you can look that up. No, I don't think that's lame. I don't actually.
Yeah, I think Weezer is truly getting better than ever with each.
Saw them on the Blue Album tour. At the Cool House or Warehouse or whatever it was. Yeah.
So that's not the answer. So what's the thing you're ashamed of that you didn't like? What's the embarrassing thing?
It is therapy.
Yeah.
We're going deep.
Let's tell us.
I'm not embarrassed about anything I listen to. I can't think of anything. I'm just trying to think of what. First of all, I wouldn't be embarrassed about it. I would just. I don't know. Here's a thing that comes up on the show all the time: The Doors.
Oh, that's terrible.
Well, is it?
That's a shameful thing.
They've been rehabilitated a little bit in the last.
They shouldn't be. Not everything gets to be rehabilitated. Like we Blink-182, fine, but not the Doors.
I feel like if you spend more time with that band, as I did. Okay, so the other day I had to put together a barbecue with my wife, but I started before her, and I was playing a bunch of music that I had to listen to in preparation for some interviews for my own podcast. But then when I went in for lunch, I just put on 2 Doors albums because I just had a hankering. And I would argue and maintain, apparently this Jim Morrison character was not a good person. So let's put that on the record right away. Not a good dude. And an addict. He was an addict. He had a lot of issues. However, if you actually think about that band, they're very weird. None of it really makes any sense on many levels. Like, it's just... It is very proto-punk. I know that Iggy Pop famously said when he saw the Doors, he was a fan of the Doors, and when he got to see them in Michigan, Jim was so out of it and drunk, he thought, wait a minute, I can do that. And that's how the Stooges really came about. All I'm getting, and that's just one little anecdote, I appreciate that people don't like them, but I was obsessed with the Doors in junior high into early high school, snapped out of it. But I recently found on my digital music service a live, and when I had it, I bought a double live tape. I think it's called The Doors in Concert.
No, you know what? You're not going to rehabilitate the Doors. Take rehabilitating the Doors back to your own show, Vish.
I'm just saying, Dan Behar from Destroyer and I once had a long chat about how obsessed he is with the Doors.
Yeah, of course he is, but his music sounds like that.
He doesn't sound like the Doors.
But it sounds like someone who would like the Doors.
His music sounds like a long chat about the Doors. It's true. That is true.
There is something there. I'm just saying. If you're going to ask me,
good. So you had an answer. You had an answer to the.
I'm not really
what's
embarrassed.
What's the bad band that you like that you should be embarrassed by?
I'm not embarrassed. Like why would I be embarrassed about listening to music? So you know what, Josiah, do you have something? Are you embarrassed about music you used to listen to?
No, I'm embarrassed about everything I listen to all the time. I think it's all embarrassing.
I guess if you look at it that way, then I'd have to agree. Yeah,
you just got to live in a state of constant change.
Yeah.
Now, you've spent time around. Fugazi is not just a band that you are a fan of. This is a band that you have spent some time with. You've interviewed them. You've seen their subsequent bands. In my mind, when I emailed you about this, I was like, you are Fugazi man to me. You are like the embodiment. Like Fugazi is your favorite band, and they are Vish's favorite band. And something that Josiah and I have talked about a little bit, because obviously our podcast is, rooted in a highly reverential and sort of academic discussion of these bands that we feel merit sort of an additional sort of academic, review. But, from time to time we veer into the puerile, the juvenile humor. And something that we have wondered about, and there are hints, there's breadcrumbs kind of throughout the band's history. Do you think that the members of Fugazi have senses of humor?
I mean, there's a lyric from is it Fell Destroyed from Red Venison, where he repeatedly says, "Yes, I have a sense of humor. Don't you sense my sense of humor?" Which I thought was actually really fucking funny at the time.
That's very funny, actually.
They are possibly the funniest people they are very funny, and we laugh. Okay, so
you laugh like you're like, "Hey, Joe Lally, let's have a laugh." In my very limited interactions with them, they're lovely and severe, right?
Well, actually, to add to that, before you say
severe, what do you mean severe? What are they karate chopping you? What are they doing?
There's a lot of you have no idea, man. We'll take that off pod.
To add to what Sam's asking, I want to know has Ian MacKay ever watched an Adam Sandler movie? Or something?
I see where this is going. I should have smelled it coming. I think I'll give you some inside stuff. So I'm sitting on, let's say it's a couch, and my telephone is nearby me, and it starts to make a notification sound. And so I don't know if you guys are familiar with modern technology, so I look at the phone, and it's a text from Brendan Canty, and he didn't screen grab it. He filmed himself watching Norm Macdonald Has a Show, because Jane Fonda is on an episode, and there's this weird interest. They famously, if you watch, it's not famous, but if you watch Norm's Netflix show, you would have noted that they go to break, and if the guest is savvy, they'll be like, "A break from what? There's no commercials. What are you talking about?" It's like, no, we got to take a break. Anyway, there was one interstitial moment where they went away from a Jane Fonda segment, and just before they came back, there's a cut, and it's her talking about how she once filmed a movie in Guelph. And Norm makes fun of Guelph, Ontario, which is a city that I not only lived in for 23 years, I think, and I'm not just trying to sound immodest, some people associate me with that city, with that word even, Guelph.
You're the Guelph Fugazi man.
I'm the Guelph Fugazi man. That's exactly what it says on my business card. Now, if I had one. But so Brendan hears that, associates me with it, and sends that to me. And that spurs me on to be like, "You like Norm Macdonald?" And he's like, "Oh, I love Norm Macdonald." Similar text exchange with Guy reveals he loves Norm Macdonald. And so I'm like, holy shit.
Does he do an impression? Have you ever asked Guy to go do his favorite line from Dirty Work or whatever?
No, Guy and I
I've never seen so many dead hookers in my does he do quotes?
No, but I think we did go on a little run about how brilliant we both thought Norm was in a text exchange. Guy and I just trade texts about basketball. So during the playoffs, we were just back and forth and about what's going on with basketball. That's usually that's become.
What does Ian text you? Like World Star memes or?
No, Ian doesn't text as much. To be honest,
see that because he's so severe. It makes sense. He probably hates texting. He probably rants about it.
Ian's more serious than with me, I would say, than some of the other folks. I would agree with you there. I will admit that. But no, they are funny, and I just think they're very funny. And I said this to someone on their Fugazi podcast that because they were wondering how we, like Sam, you were alluding to all of the interactions I've had with them, and the way I've figured it out is from the get-go, I was not afraid to make a little joke. Whether they were good jokes or stinkers or bombs, I don't know. But I think the fact that I treated them like human beings and tried to make jokes and we would chuckle, make each other chuckle, I think it's a real factor in them maintaining contact with me and us being friendly, on friendly terms. Because otherwise, I'm a journalist, or I was, or I am. I don't even know what I am anymore. And they are people I admire, which they know. They are people I cover. They know, guys, what it's like. I mean, we talk to people, and if we're lucky, it goes well, but it's an assignment for them and for us, right? We're interviewing them. They've got something to talk about or promote, and we do our best. But I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm sure you have people like this in your lives that you've talked to, and you've maintained some social connection.
Well, yeah, we have, Sam and I have each other.
Yeah, well, that's true. You two met when you were interviewing Sam about his blog about teens. Is that what it was?
Yep.
His YouTube channel about what the teens are into?
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
Yeah, they don't let you post that kind of stuff on YouTube anymore.
Things have changed. They've cleaned up their act.
Yeah. Anyway, we were friendly, and I treated them like people and not like icon. I think all people mostly just want to relate to people as people.
See, I would have tried negging them probably and seen how that paid off. But
I don't clown them. We clown around, but I don't clown them, and I don't. Not every official interview has gone smoothly. They don't suffer fools, and sometimes
that's what I've always said about Fugazi.
Yeah, I don't. I think if you ask a dumb question, they're not gonna. I can think if I think on it as I'm speaking to you. I can hear you being like,
Well, I tried to get Ian on to talk about Blink-182, and I feel like I could have gotten him to hang up in the first 15 seconds or so. That's what I was really hoping for, but
yeah, and I think that's, to be honest, like that's a thing. When you are right about a lot of stuff, people accuse you of being righteous because it's in the word.
You're talking about me?
No, I think people like to dunk on those guys or people who are right about things,
right?
For being so self-serious, and really they're just like, all right, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just trying to do a logical thing here and treat people respectfully and maybe look out for one another. And they get, I'm not going to do the litany of people, but how many people get clowned on for being idealistic, And I think eventually you get sick of it. Ian said that once when I did the timeline on him in Exclaim. I did the rare thing of asking him to vet some facts that I was unsure about, and he made a point of saying he wasn't going to really speak too much on the record, but he allowed me to quote him sort of talking about why, and he also allowed me to quote him saying, like, you wouldn't believe how cruel and unsympathetic people are in their language towards me. And it doesn't really make any sense. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm just, like, it's bonkers. This is, by the way, in the early 2000s, I want to say, or 2007 or something like that. And I don't know. I think you either laugh about it or you get fucking mired in it. And he's conscious of it. Let's just put it that. He's conscious of being clowned on, but he's also fucking funny. And I've told our mutual friends about something he said or did to me once, and they were like, "Oh, he's fucking with you." And I went, "Really?" He's like,
right.
"Yeah." Here, I'll tell you this real quick. I had a thing that those of us who make podcasts, every once in a while, we have our own greatest hits. We have hit singles, like an episode. You guys have this, right? You had like an episode.
It's every week for us. I mean, every week
really?
we literally, to ourselves, we say that was the best one yet.
Oh, wow.
Maybe not this week, but usually, I mean,
you guys are exactly like Robbie Krieger trying to curate a Doors greatest hits record. It's impossible. It's going to be like 5 albums.
All great.
Yeah, no, I did a thing once where I had Ian Mackay and Steve Albini in conversation, and I asked them each to record their end of the talks for fidelity reasons. And Ian said something like, well, who's going to cover the cost of my mini disc or whatever the hell it was? The Zoom file, the hard, whatever it was. And I went, I don't know, what? What are you talking about? He's like, well, I don't know. It's going to cost me some money to... Anyway, I told the mutual friend, and like, oh, he's fucking with you, man. He's just having you on. And I'm like, oh, he's just joking around. I didn't even know it. I didn't bring it up. He never brought it up again. So I think he was just he's a trickster. And that's all I'll say. He's a trickster figure.
The trickster,
he's the original prankster.
He's very funny. I would argue, guys, that I would maintain my argument. They're funny. So I like them because they're funny. I like them because they're serious. I like myself because I'm funny and serious. This is what I gravitate towards.
What you like about Fugazi is what you like about Vish.
I think when I talk about that Norm thing, as you guys both know, I'm a huge fan of Norm Macdonald's as well. So that was like a revelation, because that incident I'm talking about with Brendan and Guy, or rather those exchanges about Norm, that's only in the last 4 or 5 years. So all I'm getting at is, and basketball, like the more you dig into it, we're probably, if we lived in the same neighborhood, there's a good chance we have enough in common that we wouldn't not be opposed to what are you doing? You want to hang out? We're we're similar people. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not.
I think you got to move to Washington, man.
So do you think that they're going to listen, knowing that you're on this, and they're going to hear us right now, and they've listened to us talking? And if so, I mean, please come on the show. I would love everyone from Fugazi to listen to the new Machine Gun Kelly punk music. Let me know what you think of it. And
why did you send me that? You sent me some horrible file in my email that I think it's a virus.
I assumed you were a big Machine Gun Kelly fan.
No,
you're not. Would you say you hate Machine Gun Kelly?
No, I don't actively hate any musicians. I really don't.
So you admit that he's a musician?
I don't hate any actor / comedian / whatever.
Any performer. Yeah.
No, well, I don't have time to hate. I'm just there's too much stuff, guys. There's just too much stuff. I can't.
What if Machine Gun Kelly was like sort of a kind texting buddy with you? Would you start liking him?
Well, yes, I would. Yeah, I would for sure. If people
gotta get this man's contacts.
Yeah, no, I would. Yeah, people are. I had a thing once where I interviewed Jared Leto for some movie. Oh no, he was at TIFF in like 2012, I want to say, and I talked to him about that band he's in. They had a documentary. 30
Seconds to Mars. Yeah,
yeah. They had a documentary, and I interviewed him, and he liked it. It was like a 10-minute interview, and he liked it so much that he emailed me individually after to thank me. And I mean, he said he liked it. Who knows? Maybe he was making it up. But I mean, this is just who I am, guys. I'm a friend maker. My mother told me this. I'm a born friend maker. I'm very likable. Don't let those suits of the CBC influence your decisions or perceptions of me, folks. I'm likable and viable as a broadcaster and a media personality. I don't know what their problem is.
I think that's a perfect pin in the conversation. Vish, drop your plugs. What else do we need to know? We got to wrap it up because we still have to talk about this entire fucking song for 3 hours. So.
I thought I was supposed to help talk about the song, but okay.
I mean, if you want to say anything about the song specifically, I thought Sam was going to ask you about it, and then he didn't, and I don't know anything about it.
I know. Did I tell? Was my story too long about seeing them? I don't know if I talked too much. How long is your show? No, the show's only supposed to be like 16 minutes, right? I went over.
Yeah. It's a rapid fire kind of. Well, since okay, how do you feel about the song Facet Squared, Vish?
I kept forgetting what it was called. While we were talking, I thought it was called Cadet something. I really haven't dug into it yet. So
Facet Squared is a really great song. It leads off In on the Kill Taker. It is hard to understand what Ian is saying, but the lyric sheet is unbelievable. Like the lyric sheet's great. The lyrics are great, I should say. The lyric sheet I can't speak to. But the lyrics are great, and I love it. It's great. It's cool. What do you think about it, Sam?
I mean, I think it's the start of the best Fugazi record. I fucking love it. I mean, it sounds cool. I don't think I even really knew what the lyrics were until today, because I just to me it was always a vibe-based song, but now I realize the lyrics are quite sick.
They're great.
It's awesome.
They're great, and it's it's one of those things that I think mostly Ian and Guy in particular would collaborate on lyrics a lot. So I think like a Beatles thing, it's whoever's singing the most of it, wrote the most of
You
it.
mean
you
like
know?
a Blink-182 thing, yeah.
Is that how they operate as well?
Yeah.
Mark and what's the other guy's name? Brian? No, I can't remember his name. They had a radio
Brian.
show.
It's Brian.
The other guy. So anyway, yeah, it's a cool song. It's about, in a sense, it seems to be critiquing notions of nationalism and tribalism. It's about how flags shouldn't touch the ground, but it's also about cliques and people. Sometimes they get together and they don't accomplish anything. I'm really doing a quick Cole's Notes version, but it's a really great song, and really remarkable performance of the song too. You're right. I really love that record. I have a hard time saying what my favorite Fugazi album is, but the same way I have a hard time saying what my favorite Beatles record is. I think it's all amazing. So anyway, I think it's great. One note, Facet is not. Do you know how it's? What's the lyric? Flags are such ugly things, right?
Yes.
That's what he said. So that's actually what they made it Facet, Facet, but that was just what's that called? A homonym? No, there's a name for that.
No, I think it is a homonym. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's actually the abbreviation is Facet. Flags are such ugly things. FASUT. But for the purposes of the typographical title,
oh wow,
they made it Facet because that's
Soft.
a real word. Yeah. So the other word is not
committed to the bit.
Is this okay? Is this too nerdy?
No, that's great. We've officially,
man.
I don't know if you realize this goes at the end of the episode, so we haven't talked about it yet, but we've just shared our take on it, and I can guarantee there will have been no facts yet revealed in the entire show. So we're probably nearing the 2.5 hour mark, and you've just dropped the first relevant Fugazi fact of the entire month. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. Well, thanks for having me on this Blink-182 Fugazi show or whatever it is, and I hope no one's too mad. My show is called Kreative Kontrol. It has K's instead of C's in those words at the beginning.
Is that an SEO thing, or I was always wondering why, or is it because of your last name?
No, it's named after. Well, those are all interesting points that I'm going to defer to those answers from now on when someone asks me.
The last name one's a bad answer because then it's 3 Ks involved.
That's exactly correct. I'm very careful about that. Careful with a C.
That's right.
I tend to like the band. What are they called? Hot Snakes. They have a song on their album Audit in Progress called Kreative Kontrol, and I also. It's funny, I've heard tell that some CBC people thought I named the show after I left there as a little cheap shot at them, when in reality, they let me do whatever I want. There was no creative control issues there.
You got so much beef coming out on this.
No, I'm trying to suggest there wasn't beef. That's what I'm just the opposite of that. I'm just saying I got the impression that's what was going on there.
It sounds like beef, though. It sounds like the lack of beef generated beef.
It's true. I think so. I mean, you hate Blink-182. I'm pretty sure you said earlier.
I'm mostly vegetarian, so it's beyond beef. My point is that I like to talk to, if anyone who's heard the show knows, I like to ask people why they got into whatever it is they do. At some point in the conversation, I try to do that. So it's about creativity. Like where do you? There's a bit of a theme there. I don't always directly do that, but yeah, that's why it's called Kreative Kontrol. It's not meant to be totally spiteful and beef oriented. It's just what I came up with, and I love that. I will say, I don't think Hot Snakes have played the song live once since I named the show. So I think that's.
So there's some beef right there.
I feel like there's a problem there that I have to resolve. It's only been 8 years since I named the show, so hopefully everything's fine now. Rick and I are tight. Everything's fine.
Well, Vish, this is a perfect segue. Now we're going to play. Our friend DRMC made a special mashup of Fugazi Waiting Room and Machine Gun Kelly. So we're going to go out on that if you don't mind.
Oh no, I don't like this. Can I veto this? I'd rather this did not occur. Can we?
Thanks, Vish.
Oh no.
Part 1, why is it so hard to From if my name was a custom, now I'm 6 feet deep. I guess my life wasn't perfect. Yeah.